What is it like? That they loved and cared for the flower. Come on. The road also regretted it. He is free to live his life as he pleases. But he and his previous life had nothing left, apart from that useless reputation. But even though Sao is lucky, because we've had a chance to make it right. He drew his sword towards his opponent. Come on in. Or he could stand in front of everyone and say, because he is so afraid of me, he couldn't keep that promise. If we do that, we'll ignore him. And we don't have to fight billions anymore. Take a breath to hold your anger. Very well just said. His body. It's starting to emit dangerous gases. I will do as you wish in exchange. The eyes of the burning danger. You'll die in the most painful way in the world. Detectives from his body began to lay and raw around. Even the ground under your feet quickly corrodes. Nearby, the skin of the leech begins to burn. White sky quickly warned that the special agent quickly. Cover your eyes and back. Road army music also comes close to stop the poison, help them. So the tribesmen are watching you. They hurriedly shouted and backed away. Even the members of the language line. People who are exposed to poison like rice. I am also terrified of this poison. The eyes of the road are black when I saw my family panicking behind me. Die boom. A jet of black air shot out from his sleeve. Poison head. Poison and air together form poison. Shoot straight towards the min. At a tremendous speed. Just turn the light. Was to dodge the poison of the road. In a way that's too easy. The road is dangerous, the eyes are dangerous. There's nothing interesting about letting you fall. The dangerous road ahead, as if he had predicted it early. He started swinging his sleeves sideways. Buzzing, buzzing. Bulls shoot out from the side. Small brooch trees, to the point where it can't be seen with the naked eye, has been laced with poison flying straight towards Than Min. It's such a terrifying force that, what that crane line, just showed up in a martial arts match, just like fireflies compared to the moon. Very quickly, the soldiers swung. Swords to both sides blow those little brooches away. At this rate, it doesn't matter. He swung his sword endlessly, and there's no mistake. The trees cannot be crossed. The sword of Ming fell right in front of him. Right after that, Min came forward. The corner of the mouth of the most majestic road to a grin. When you see that action. Cowardly mouse. He quickly jumped back. Not only that, he shot out of his hands. A series of absolutely poisonous pellets attacked towards Than Min. Spin, spin, spin. All the pellets come close. They were all cut in half by the sword of Ming. But soon they all lit up and exploded. Boom. There's a layer of red dust all over the place. At the same time as the sound of a landslide. In the blink of an eye, the dust covered the ring. Road, the musician saw the scene and screamed. The Demon King. The Demon Lord is a poison with no antidote. Master, are you awake? God, this crazy old man. He immediately shouted. Everybody close your noses and your mouths back. This is his most powerful toxin. Elder, what the hell are you thinking? One of the things to follow. To become political. It's not using poisons. There's no antidote to dealing with sex. Other people are also political. But now, the Senate is violating that rule. Stop it now. Get that crazy old man down. Even though the line screamed at her. But there's no AI that's going to approach the ring. It's damn late. Because the demon lord doesn't have an antidote. Or in other words, if poisoned, even the people of the street, there is only one way to wait to die. The hand of the line of music just gripped the dagger. Just shivering in thought. That damn old man dared to do this. I just watched the reaction of the band. I just clicked my tongue. You're surprised. Danger lines look at the entire field, has been enveloped in poison gas. But aesthetics, we should have acted sooner. If from the beginning, we use fear to dominate the language, then this didn't happen. But we're obsessed with name and face. He put it along the boy. It's because you are too cocky. It's not a world of poison and evil. It's a world of poison. If you just look at the airbending, then you have despised the way. He pulled out a handful of sand from his sleeve. Sand is scattered throughout the ring. That's not the profile that the crane used. That's 7 SA soul trackers, specially invented by Dangerous Road. This is a horrible toxic SA. Because it would make them single-minded. Left the body in less than 7 steps. Even if you are a master, no matter how strong it is, then you can't avoid all the dust. It's covering this place. It's also impossible to stop all the grains of sand. Is falling down. Your political parties are disregarding the way of life. But the road was skipped. Because of your situation. Even more so if we use real poison. It will be a joke to the world. I can see the shadow of the light. Appeared in the dust. Then laughed softly. Because he saw the shadow of the dawn. On my knees to the ground. If you let it go, you will die. But that's not enough. He took out another bottle of poison. After opening the lid, he threw the bottle with all his might. A deep blue smoke that radiates, combined with the power of the danger line, flying straight towards Than Min, hit him hard. Very quickly, it immediately creates a new flow of agents. Surround the whole place. See that? People around you can't help but worry. Danger rode with a pleasant smile. He gripped his hand, using internal force, not to mobilize the flow of the task force. Only see, even the surrounding soil quickly corrodes. This is the last gift I will give you. It's called euphoria. Once hit, then you will suffer like hell. Until death. After the end of the punishment for the Ming. The road of danger turned to look at the road of music. You see the owner. How do you see my fair share? The eyes of the army are bleeding. I'm fucking slow. Even if you jump into the ring now, there is no way to save the world. And that damn old man is no longer qualified to be called Abbot, Senate. How can I respectfully call someone? That's against the minimum rule of a political party. Is it okay to be a senator? He is close to the voice. It's already happened like this. You can even be proud, claiming to be the senator of the way anymore. Sao. A martial artist with a minor faction. They also use poison. To do so, is it any different from the evil and inhuman sects? But face the boiling anger of the military road. The danger is still constantly laughing. Haha, you said I looked like a traitor. Master, wake up. That's why. At Sao, you can't hold the whole world in your hands. What about the situation of the road? No matter how much poison you have, and haunts the name of the world, you can only bury your feet in the ground. This little piece of Sichuan, it's become a joke for the world. We still have to be bound, because of these cheerleader rules. Until when? The eyes of the danger line flashed strangely. Russian city, are you kidding me? If they really turn their backs, become our enemy, in less than a day, Than Than Mountain and Rushan Mountain me drowned in a sea of blood. But what about us? We're not able to do anything, because they're surrounded by ordinary people. Subject Master, this is the future of the path that the Master wants. Sao, you want them to live like idiots. Huh. Then why do you want us to detoxify everywhere? Don't make excuses. Do that. Only makes us common enemies of the martial arts. Okay? The road is dangerous. It's dangerous. Interruptions of the military road. Or maybe we'll hold the world. Not Sao. Master, don't treat me like a sinner. The sinner really made the road as miserable as it is now. That's the Master. You have ignored the road to make an alliance with those Hoa-san. What else? That action is no different. He's spitting in the face of his anus. The reason why we are leaving the Senate. It's not because we're old and weak. If you're going to put pressure on the Senate, don't forget this way, that we can change our minds too. The fingernails of the line are clasped to the palms of the hands. Fuck me. I want to throw this dagger in his forehead. Right now. But what happens after that is why. Even if he does something terrible, he is still the head of the road. Among the people here, not a few people followed him. So, I can't let people see my hands. Move with the dangerous way. Because if that happens, they will also have a reason to oppose me. And things like this, the future, will continue to happen. Fucking, I should have stopped him from the beginning. I was wrong, so that he can say those things in front of so many people. And I didn't think he had such a big heart. We should have stopped. I should have stopped this martial artist. Excessive trust, and the hesitation, in the interim that things have become raw like this. We've got to act. We've got to get this over with. I saw the look on the road. The danger of a pleasant smile. He turned his body towards the light. Immediately after that, to control the flow of the case. Only see the flow of the case quickly under his control. That ruined Ra. Now, let me see. The last moment of the dragon flower. that the owner believes in, what would it be like? With his words. All the cases were quickly picked up and exposed. It's a view that everyone can see. And that scene immediately made everyone. From the battle audience, road army music, Hoa paint people, or even the road is not safe from the picture. You can't do what you do. Only see, clear with his whole body in black, but still completely healed, kneeling on the floor. And then he, with his cool red eyes, raised his face. From his eyes, it's even pouring out black tears. No one had time to react. The police rushed to cover their mouth. Then vomit constantly. He's constantly vomiting. But along with that, your skin also quickly changes. From black back to normal. To see the scene, the road is not safe from the picture. After a while, he stopped puking and raised his voice. Tight. I can't believe he can make me raw this much. Of course, Sichuan's food is really different from foam. I just saw the light stand up, with a body that's never been made. It's not possible. The people around saw it. It's almost as if you want to get out in your eyes. So, that guy just said, what is a dog food? Don't risk sweating. Why didn't you get poisoned? Worth it. You should be a mire before my poison. That's right. Don't look at the city with unbelievable eyes. How can? Of course, if you're a master of the arts, it can be endured to some extent. Or it can suppress the poison in the body. But that kid can get to that level. More like him. I'm completely immune to my poison. It seems that the mouth is burning. He spat out several times, and then raised his head again. First, there's something we need to fix. The first is that the road can't hold the world. It's not because of you. Do not use poison. It's because the poison doesn't work. What do you say? The second thing is not the final line allied with the paint. It's the paint that's allied with the road. This issue is very important. He must remember it carefully. And finally, the third thing. Subject, road, subject. I've seen all this before. To shake hands with Hoa-san. But so far, he still has absolutely no love. The owner must have been hard. To see someone like him. They are family and feed him. Look at his face. Then he doesn't seem to understand. That's it. Even if I explain it, he won't understand. It's simple to say. He just needs to think. Our bodies are immune to poison. And now, let's move on. Bright smile. Wiggle your fingers towards the danger line. Put out everything he's confident in. Ming Ming remembered before. There are 8 things with sugar. But why a man like you? They don't use poison. Brother Igu. Have you ever seen the first world come out? From the road yet? Not yet. That was the beginning. Not. The road and the South Bow are a pair of identical. Sao clan fame. There are many firsts. From the Southern Palace and the family. It's just that there's never been an AI. You said it was poison. Yes, poison is not a good thing. Of course, by a certain standard. It's no different than a universal key. It's kind of like throwing a couple of needles. The enemy has also fallen. There is nothing more terrifying in this world. But what if it's so easy to eat? Who wants to practice airbending? Use the poison of the sugar, then claim to be the champion. Look cocky. But the power doesn't increase at all. If you encounter a master the size of your brother, the head is off her. What did those idiots say? They don't understand either. If you grab the dress, it's poisonous. It still works for Gao. However, with such a great player, it is not at all. Conquer the world with poison Sao. If that's the case, whether the previous route, do you need to escape from the ghost or not? If you use a poison that has no antidote, Sao, it means that the poison has no antidote. It's not that there's no solution. There's definitely a way to deal with poison. We alone have it. I know 2 ways. Don't be a big risk. It's ridiculous. The demon lord is a poison that even if you hold your breath, the poison will still seep through the skin. Other poisons are the same. Still indifferent to think. The first way is what the danger line just said. You just need to use the principle of sealing the whole body. Does not inhale poison. It doesn't let the poison get through the skin. There's no reason to be poisoned. But this way, it's impossible to avoid the poison impregnated on the gas. The moment when you hit the body, the poison will immediately strike. That's a great way to use it. That is use the principle of purification of toxins inside the body. The Gao players, when the air is at its peak, will be able to squeeze the poison out of the body. With his principles, no need for a cure. The antidote is just a drug. It's designed to help people who are not masters. When you drink it, it neutralizes the toxicity. With people who can resist toxicity, ever since the poisoning, then the antidote doesn't mean anything. And don't tell me you were aware of this before. Don't tell most people in the street. See it as trash. After running away from the world and going through so many martial arts, to obtain such vital secrets. That's how he realized that. They can't rely on poison to be the first of the world. And just bet everything he's got into airbending. Don't tell me. Who peddled on the martial arts of the world with airbending? Born like that. The road is still ludicrous. You obviously can't use your power. You are in danger of biting your lips. When I realized I was blind, talking about poisoning in Than Min's food, to seal off his inner strength. Than Min laughed softly. Ah, elder. You know how stupid people think. Whether he is smart or not. I have guessed he will use some tricks before the fight takes place. Because of the antics that people like him do. It's usually very predictable. If you don't believe me, you can try again. If you don't tell me, I will too. Demon Lord Lin launched from the west of the road. The smoke billowing out. Dyed red around Than Min. He's increased the concentration of the poison, instead of just launching out to some extent, as before. But on the contrary, Than Min just leisurely walked through the lane of single service, like a walk in the wind. He inhaled the poisonous gas, and then spit it on the ground like a runaway. I told you it's no use. His toys can't do anything to us. Because our bodies are a little special. Inside my body, it's the purest collection of atoms. That world is also the principle of Taoism. The principle of Ra, which is a special kind of gas. It's made of destruction and purification. And no matter what the guru in the world, there can be no purer principle than ours. Okay? It's the principle that when the internal forces of the soil are exhausted, then it'll help us start to build up that internal force again. One more time. With this kind of principle, things like poison don't matter. We calculate when we need it. We'll eat another piece of knitted mixture. But did not expect it deals with toxins more neatly than we think. The energy in the body is admirable. You're right, Ra. If you think about the miserable days like dogs, to assemble this kind of principle, then its effectiveness must be the same to be worth it. He laughed and said, well, now he's calculating. Right at that moment, the expression of the danger line changes completely. Just now, his face was still horrified and afraid. But just for a moment, it's restored to normal. Ha 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 ha. You don't even know your condition. Look at your hand again. She bent down and spread her hands out. This case is SAO. From his fingers to his wrists. Dyed in a black. This is clearly a symptom of poisoning. The road of danger, his face filled with contentment. I know you're good. But it seems like you're a good boy. I can't push them all out in time. If you go to hell and meet the king of hell, remember you came to pay the price. Because I despised the poison of Sichuan. He laughed and said, just burn all of this stuff. It was at that time. A great fire burns on the clear hand. The road just looked at the fire created by Ming Ming. Just squinted, unconsciously, 2 steps back. Three sisters fire yard. How to do it? That kid can use 3 fireplaces. It's something that only the best players can do, with extremely deep internal resources that can be used. I can see that kind of danger. I just hate to think of the frog at the bottom of the well. Don't tell, tried to break through the closed nature of the pathway. Because he knows well. If you continue to practice the martial arts of the family, under this title of prince in Sichuan, then one day, the road will only be broken, for the martial arts world only. Looking at the current danger, it can be confirmed that 100 years have passed, but the track hasn't changed a bit. That's right. Don T let people like him. As a pillar of leadership, it's possible to make something happen. You're lucky it didn't go downhill. Even if we break their heads, we will. You have to make these people new. The sword in his hand, slowly moving towards the danger line. Don't panic, take a step back immediately. And then he pulled out the raw 7 scouts and other poisons, but frantically launched them towards the Ming. Die, you monster. People around you can see the power of poison, nor out of fear. God damn it, he's crazy. Standing in front of a poisonous rain, the light is still coming softly. The body image of Min disappeared. He then used the sword to strike. All the poison pellets gathered in one place. Keep putting your power in one hand and destroy the entire poison bowl. Don't let them spread out. It leads to uncontrollability. Than Min laughed softly. I told you it didn't work. Road explosion hazard. Anger as someone who has lost his mind. How is this even possible? He can't lose like this. If it's like this, he will lose all reason to exist. Deny all that he has built. Up to this point, he's spent his whole life practicing poison. And now it's all useless. Even the insights. What has become self-respect? It was finally denied. Then in the end, that's why he exists in the name of a master. What is poison? We can't end it like this. Dangerous road with two eyes filled with poison gas. Continued to draw the gas from inside the sleeve raw. The blades looked terrible. Ran towards the dawn at the speed of a lightning. Than Min used Sewing Hoa sword to fly all too weak. The flying blades can only come quickly. There's not even a single monstrous aura. Like the dagger of the road music. I can't see a bit of exercise effort from this kind of dagger execution. Fuck. 10 coins shot out of the finger of the danger line. Money line. At the gate. This is what it's called when you use a coin as an emasculator. In the past, don't tell, used to use coins between the fingers. It makes his fingers. It's always very dirty. Or the elder brother. This is proof that you have practiced. It's very hard. Although still not very satisfied. But also consider this as evidence. There is also exercise for dangerous roads. But then the money line towards Than Min now. There is nothing but clean water. How long has he not used money? That's how frozen the coins look. The light of the 7 eyes became clearer. Don't tell the past and the danger now. Have similar positions. The danger is the Senate. It's the influencer behind the curve. Even though they say they are outsiders, when you're out of the way. But those two, they are all the elders of the temple. But why is there such a big difference? The soldiers flew all the money. Rushed towards him, in a single sword. This is the magic of the road. Even the first world. Tomorrow the sword must be respected. If the enemy is now the way to tell, then why? Maybe I couldn't take it. 3 moves and rolling out dead. And the name has power like this. He is the elder of the way. Ignorance is what makes other people's blood boil. I'm really itchy and I can't stand it. Don't say you understand very well. If you think of poison as universal and only study poison, sooner or later, the road will collapse. And what's on display right now in front of Shining's eyes? It's the future you don't want to avoid. But this is it. You'll no longer see weakness. This is ridiculous even more. If the head can't get it, then I'll change the way I tell them to fight. As long as you understand. The painting is back in episode 148, as you said. Trade for ROI for leap. Don't tell me you want a better track. I'll help him do that today. step by step with your eyes, so that the road is not free from confusion and fear. He screamed aloud, "A." And at the same time, release all the poison that's holding on to you. See that? The whole group of fighters couldn't help but sweat. Stuttering near the urinary tract. That thing is. At the same time, don't be as dangerous as shouting. Ta! I will never lose to a boy like you. At the same time, he also uses all the air on his body to launch through the vase of poison. They don't just release all the toxins around them, but continue to launch towards the Ming. In his eyes, it's blood-riddled and aesthetically pleasing. Goodbye. Monster name. Take a look. The power of the road. You have been insulting ever since. You will be killed with my poison. At the same time, the soldiers realized. Full of heaven and harmony. Get the fuck out of here. Back up. Back up. As far as possible. It's useless to stand under the roof now. Poison along with the aura of the sky's full Hoa Vu will dissolve all those who are nearby. Back on the floor. Than Min still calmly observes that aesthetic. Happy nature and dance. This is the perfect harmony, Sao. The perfect flower dance together with the invisible poison. It's called cool. The secret of the way. It's absolutely not a secret that the power of the hazard line can be unleashed. In the past, don't say it was done. Hoa Vu, although not complete. But it was so beautiful that the enemy fell in illusions. Yes, that's the rain. The flower's wings cover the whole world. Look clearly at the road. In the middle of the scene, the smoke and poison rise and fall like rain. He just stood there holding up the sword. It's like those poisons and haunts don't exist. Light your face towards the sky and slowly close your eyes. Even if it's just imitation. But now in the world, only we can imitate it. This will be the mind. It's also a gift. I want to give it to you. After a period of 100 years, he swung a sword, flying the air around, and jumped right into the center of the toxic cloud. Case. The air sword immediately creates a void. Let's make him the center. The metal of Hoa Sun begins to form. The wings of tomorrow's flowers fluttered. Every wing begins to fall. One cotton and then another. Soon after, 10 flowers will bloom. Hundreds of flowers tomorrow. The field of martial arts is completely covered by Hoa Mai. Endlessly free to change endlessly. Standing in front of that scene, the enemy will be swept away by that beautiful aura. I can only see that my body is starting to break down. And then there's a lot of his body. Simultaneous appearance and rush towards the enemy. When the road is not ready to react, all around is the body of the sage. He stammered and covered the world. How can you do that? The voice of the cold. The old man, let me show you. What will the image of the dragon boat be like? Hoa paint excellent 24 tomorrow Hoa test. My Hoa full heaven. Hundreds of thousands of wings Hoa natural gas variation. It's everywhere. The rain of the wings and the dance of the wings.